Choo choo, all aboard! Welcome to the newest episode of Friend or Foe. This week, Libby and I welcome the very wonderfully talented musical artist Michael Blume. Michael has been touring through New York and stopped over in Los Angeles. I had the amazing pleasure of seeing his concert live. It was absolutely spectacular. We talk with him all about his music, his career, his hopes, his dreams, his fears. It's really quite a pleasure to have met him. Really cool show coming up for you. A few things I do want to talk to you about. I have been invited to appear at and cover a couple of conferences that are coming up, some really amazing events that are happening. The first one is called Unrig the System. If you listened into my episode with Josh Silver, then you are familiar with his advocacy against corruption. And Unrig the System is all about that. Top advocacy leaders, academics, comedians, musicians, celebrities, activists, philanthropists, journalists, and me will be coming together to cross partisan ideological divides to work together on concrete solutions to unrig America's political system. If you are interested in attending or just want to check out more information, go to unrigsummit.com. The next event is the following weekend, which is Podfest Multimedia Expo in Orlando, Florida. At that event, prospective and veteran podcasters and multimedia content creators will be gathering to exchange ideas, discover new opportunities, services, and technology, along with tips and techniques for improving their workflow and the quality of the content and products they deliver to their audiences. It's going to be a really amazing event, and on that, if you would like to check out more information or purchase tickets, go to podfest.us. I will be live streaming from both events across all our social pages, so make sure to follow us across Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Friend or Foe Pod, of course. That's FAUX. Guys, I won't bore you too much more with another extremely long intro. Wanted to get that stuff out of the way, and also, as always, please, when you check us out on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, please take an extra moment or two to leave us a rating and review. It really helps us out and climb to the top of the charts, as it were, and get some play on iTunes and things of that nature. It really, really helps to get the show out there for other listeners. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And of course, our Patreon is still up and going. It's just patreon.com/friendorfoe. Of course, that's FAUX. And yeah, without further ado, please enjoy another wonderful episode of Friend or Foe with our very special guest, Michael Blume.
This is the Jabberjaw Podcast Network.
I'm good.
Okay.
Michael, are you Blume Music on Facebook too?
No, on Facebook I think it's Michael Blume.
Is it cool if I tag you?
Definitely. Tag away.
Right now it's just a picture of me outside of Meltdown because I got here early.
Nice.
But I'm like, we're going to the studio.
We all got here early.
Yeah,
This is very exciting. This never happens.
We were nervous because we always...
Oh?
We don't know how to get around LA. You know?
Oh, sure.
Do you recognize one of those tiny pictures as you?
See, this is a problem with Facebook.
It is.
We gotta check, but I don't know if it's my page or Facebook. None of these are me.
Really?
That's crazy.
Did I misspell?
No, you're totally right.
All right.
Let me see something.
That's all right. I can tag you after.
Yeah, that's
we can figure it out after.
Part, you gotta check. Oh, there it is.
Fine.
I searched Blume Music and it came up.
Perfect.
Yeah. Interesting.
Nice.
We should fix that. We're always trying to improve here at Blume Music Productions, you know?
Good.
There's so many ways when you're building a brand, when you're building
all of us are. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every moment is a learning moment.
That's
know what
right.
I mean? And I remember learning that and being like, oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, speaking of, would you mind taking some random photos,
Absolutely.
like during the session?
For sure.
I would greatly appreciate
use your
that
phone
because
or
I
mine?
always forget. Yeah.
Cool.
But please keep it plugged up because otherwise it will die a terrible death.
No,
for sure.
Don't let it die a terrible death. All And I gotta move stuff to this side because Devlin gets excited and like pushes,
Are you a flailer?
pushes things
I
off
am.
the table.
Yeah, all the time. That's what I do.
Trust.
I don't think you saw me last night because I was flailing all over the place. I was very excited by her music.
You caught a good video.
Oh yeah, I took
yeah?
I took some grams. Of,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Of,
I haven't
of
gone
the
through-
action on stage.
Okay, cool.
It was
Awesome.
It was pretty amazing. I
you.
admittedly was not familiar with your music
Okay.
before, I don't know, a week ago, and I'm filled. I'm in.
Wow, you're
I'm-
filled.
I'm
That's a beautiful
just
word.
like
I love
soulfully
that.
satiated.
Wow.
Last night was very powerful. It takes
That
it
means
takes a
so
lot of
much.
courage to be that vulnerable. You know, in your music. How do you find that in your music? How do you,
know
bring
what's-
your heart to
You know
the
what's
stage like
weird?
that?
I think for me, I think different people's courages have different shapes, and different people's fears have different shapes. So for me, I've always just a gift that I have is I've just always been willing. It's just always felt okay to just say how I feel. Somehow, like I think I'm less afraid of that than a lot of people. I'm more afraid of other things than a lot of people. That's what I mean by shape.
Yeah.
By like these different, diverse ways in which fears and courages can have different shapes to different people. So for me, the gift that God has given me, she said, Michael, you're just going to talk about everything and it's all going to be okay. I will also say that I think for me specifically coming out as a gay man in a very sort of hyper analytical way towards the end of my senior year and beginning of my time at Yale, where it was this hyper intellectual space, I think that process of like really analyzing this big piece of who I was and putting that out there sort of like was a massive exercise of the muscle that one uses to externalize their inner sort of thoughts and things.
You being so fearless. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I love
I'm
hearing
not
about
fearless. I'm not fearless. That's
Oh,
very
okay.
generous. I'm
Well,
not
see, I
fearless.
find that very interesting because you present yourself as such in your stage presence for sure.
Yeah, absolutely on stage. But you said about different shapes, which I really, really love. And I want to ask you a super abstract question. And
Okay.
don't worry if you don't want to answer it, because I have a very fantastical imagination.
Okay.
So when you said that people's courage and people's fear take different shapes, I felt it as like literal. So if you were to like visualize the shape of your courage and the shape of your fear,
There you go.
and even whether it's like 2D or 3D or alive, like wide open
Come
fantasy.
through, Libby.
Do it. What did
God.
those look like
Yeah.
to you?
What's the Ed Sheeran song? Shape of You.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry. I knew there was a shape thing. Oh my gosh. I guess the shape of my fear would be circular.
Okay.
It would be a tiny, small circle. The shape, but like all filled in a really, really dark, like very dense, kind of like a black hole. How it's infinitely
Yeah.
small and infinitely dense.
Supermassive black hole.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
my shape of my fear. The shape of my courage is it's a lighter sort of dusty gas that just sort of like you open it up and it just fills up. If the room just needs to be this big, it just fills in just that much. But if it's a big room, it can fill that and it just like can adjust to whatever it needs to be and fill the room with the perfect density that's needed for it to be there.
That's so beautiful to
Yeah,
imagine. Does it
for
have a
sure.
color?
The gas is like a pinkish purple, kind of light, clear
Ooh.
pinkish purple. And the dot, I can't really see the color because it's infinitely small, but it's like dense and dark and
Yeah.
brown and,
I love
and
that.
textured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With sound effects. That
Indeed,
was
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
exactly the answer I had hoped for because there
Trust.
wasn't anything I was looking for.
Right.
Right.
Love it.
You just let it
Thanks
flow,
for
yeah.
going for it.
Trust. I got you. I go for it for sure.
Speaking of going for it, because you've done so much, and I'm not sure where to begin or where to end or where the middle is exactly. You self-released your first single, "Manufacture Love," in 2015, which got all sorts of accolades across Spotify and Apple Music. Really, just threw you into the limelight, right?
Yes. And it was like that. It was funny. It was weird. That was really the first record I had ever made. I had done a lot of music in a band setting, a live band setting, and in a cappella groups and shows and theater, but I hadn't really made a record. And I moved to New York and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a recording artist. Okay, I can write songs, I have a band, but like I don't have any fucking records. So I started looking for record producers and linked up with some record producers. And I linked up with this amazing producer and multi-instrumentalist named Brady Watt. And he produced my whole first EP. And the very first song we made in the first 3 or 4 sessions we had was Manufactured Love. And it, got just self-released. We put it on OK Player. Apple featured it on its front page. Spotify put it on one of the things. It went viral, blah, da, 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 da. It is kind of crazy that was just the first song did that. No other song yet has quite done that. We're trying to get a song to do that again. You know what I mean? And it's just interesting that, the very first one was just kind of the thing that a lot of people put out great, great, great records, but just don't have a song like that for a while. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I haven't thought about it in a while like that. So.
Well, I think so many things when they come from the heart, and I know all your music comes from the heart.
That one was really from the heart,
you
though.
put all your love out, and then it really like captures the imagination and the mind and the love of like everybody, and that's how you build your community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, because I'm a nostalgic nerd, I love vinyl. So even though I know that record is a much larger scope of a thing, do you have anything that you've like literally printed on?
I have not done any vinyl. I know, I'm ashamed to say it.
No, I mean, don't be ashamed.
We
but
just haven't.
Hit me up when you do, and I will also play you on my record player and like literally drop the needle on you.
Oh, dope. Yeah. We will do records down the line. I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
When you're in LA the next time, you should play Amoeba just down the street.
Okay.
Because they would love to have you.
Oh, for sure.
I
feel like Amoeba is just like a loving music community.
Yes,
they turn over like new stuff, they turn over old stuff, they have vinyl, they have CDs, they maybe even still have cassettes. I haven't looked.
They do.
But I bet they do.
They do.
They've got like
walls of them.
Yeah, and they have shows there all the time, but like they're always just like, again, like looking to share voices, like whatever those voices are, they're just like super down to share.
And I've found so much great music, so many new emerging independent artists there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I found out about Les Boucherettes. Are you familiar with them?
No, I'm not.
They're amazing and crazy. The lead singer is, I'll say it, nuts. She knows, so I can say it. They were performing in there. I just happened into the concert, as most of the time happens. I'm like, what's this? And she, in the middle of her lyric, left the stage, walked out the building onto a bus, and started performing on the bus. And then, as if it were, no, she didn't. Thankfully, it didn't start moving. But the bus driver was quite caught off guard. Anyway, Amoeba is
cool.
Is a really cool venue.
I'll definitely check it out.
I wonder if that was an upbeat bus driver who was like, the most amazing thing happened, or if they were like stupid singing on the bus and didn't pay the fare.
Right.
Yeah.
Michael, who are you into right now, and who are your influences from back in the day?
Good question. Right now, the record I've been listening to the most the last several months is PJ Morton's new album. PJ Morton is this amazing, like, soul, funky piano playing guy. He's the keyboardist in Maroon 5 as well. Nice. And he just has this super soulful, kind of like very Stevie Wonder-esque influence, but like kind of has like modern hip hop and R&B kind of pieces into it. I saw him play in New York a few months ago. It was amazing. I was really influenced by Channel Orange. I love all of Frank Ocean's work, but that album in particular like has stuck with me over the last 5 years. I really like Anderson .Paak's work. I feel like I was listening to Dolly Parton in a new way for the last 2 weeks and really, really fucking with her. I knew about Dolly Parton, but I hadn't really gone into Dolly Parton like that. And the last 2 weeks I've been on Dolly, and woo, she's a badass.
She's been coming up a lot. I have a Killer Crooners Pandora station because I'm a huge jazz fan, but how Pandora like introduces in new stuff, and although she's not necessarily jazz, she's a killer crooner, and
she is
I've
crooner.
been catching her like the original versions of a lot of the tunes that she wrote that then were made like more popular or had like bigger production years down the road. But she's so awesome, and amazing writer and. Yeah, and talk about putting love into your work. She's
absolutely.
She's a new influence. But you asked also about older influences. I would say I mean, she's older, but I mean, I've only recently.
Yeah, gotcha.
She's new to me in that way. But when I basically listened to a lot of Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin in middle school.
Yeah.
And those
Love
are the
it.
people that, like, when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, becoming a young adult, it was those styles and vibes that I was, like, really imitating and just, like, practicing and singing to myself in my house, whatever. And then I listened to a lot of just R&B and pop from the 90s, especially in early 2000s, when I was a teenager. But yeah, I like a lot of different kinds of music.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to listen to new things that are dope in a way that I hadn't realized. Oh, there's dopeness in that shape too, just to bring back this shapes moment.
Yeah, love it. Well, I hear it in your music, like your incorporation of like a lot of different ideas, like a lot of different influences and inspirations, and I love it.
Right.
It's so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you've got a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of rock. It's a little bit of rap. It's a little bit of soul. It's a little bit of neo soul, which comes up a lot in the publications that I've been reading about
It
you.
does, and it's funny because I don't think about it too much. As neo soul, I think about a genre of. It's just interesting that neo soul does come up more than I would put it out there, but I'm cool with that.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
When I listened to a chunk of the show you put on last night, it evoked Hawaii for me. I used to live in Hawaii, and I think also just like a combination, like we were talking about rap and hip hop and stuff, and like what the people around me were listening to, like my military friends, and like there's like a lot of reggae happening, and just like the amalgamation of those things.
Interesting, for sure. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I so wish I know you weren't able to make it last night, but I'm really glad I put those up on Instagram so at least you could see.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna get to the next event.
Yeah.
Are we ready to plug your next events?
Well, right now I don't have another date in LA at the moment, but hopefully I'll be back here later this year. I'm going to play a show in New York at the end of the spring, around when my EP comes out.
Cool.
So stand by for that. But I did just announce that I'm playing at Bonaroo this summer in Tennessee. It's in Tennessee, right? Yeah. And that's really exciting because I couldn't have imagined that festival even like a year and a half ago. Someone was like, "You're going to play Bonaroo." I'd be like, "No." So that's really cool.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, but we're gonna do another New York date and then LA again later on this year in 2018.
Cool. I'm gonna keep posted on it so I can come out.
Cool.
And the name of that new EP, can I say? Is this?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that actually.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
all right.
we're gonna
okay. No, I
keep
won't.
that
I
on the
won't
low.
spoil anything. That's.
Yeah, keep it on the low.
I know what it is.
Well, brag, why don't you?
Right. You could do a leak, but not while I'm here.
No. We'll wait. We'll wait for later. There's some really exciting music on there, and one that you did perform last night. One of the new singles is "Lifting You," and such a grandly inspirational song. One of the lines, "External validation is not a prerequisite for self-appreciation." I love that so much.
Yep. Say it again. That's why we put it on the record twice. Say it again. External validation is not a prerequisite for self-appreciation. You don't need someone else to tell you you're dope for you to tell yourself you're dope. You have to have a fountain, a source of that on your own that is fully independent from what any other human thinks or relays to you about how good or not good or worthy or unworthy or talented or untalented or da-da-da-da-da-da-da or whatever anyone else is thinking about you is one category completely distinct from what you think about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to keep that wall around that one. Of course, like, you have to have influences where, like, I mean, we only perceive the world based on a series of contexts of how other people perceive the world around us, right? Like we are all in this room right now and there's some norms that we have and we know that, like, it would be inappropriate if one of us just got naked right now. That would, like, not be okay. You know what I mean? Because we understand some norms about this. I mean, I'm getting that kind of vibe. And maybe
known to drop
I wasn't quite ready for this podcast, but maybe I'm back for it. But no, my point is, you know what I mean? So there's norms like that. And so we, of course, are influenced by, we know when we behave and evaluate ourselves on a series of that, but then you have to just protect this piece of yourself that's like, wait, this is what I know about myself, regardless of anything, regardless of just like, this is just me. How do I see myself? How do I support myself? What do I need that only I can do for myself, that no one else can do for me?
Yeah.
External validation is not a prerequisite for self-appreciation.
Constant reminders on that one. I might have to write it on my mirror.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Might have to etch it on the glass.
Yeah, for sure.
Etch it on the glass, don't ya?
Yeah, more singing in this
Yes,
episode. I am.
Yes,
don't
absolutely.
you, Libby? Etch it on the glass, why don't you? Etch it on the glass, come on. Etch it on the glass, why don't you, Libby? Etch it on the glass, why don't you? Etch it on the glass, why don't you, Libby? Etch it on the glass, why don't
Etch it
you?
on the glass.
Hey, there
Yeah.
it is.
You got a new backup act
Oh
now.
boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah. External validation. For
Okay.
The fourth time. No. Cut that out. We don't need the fourth one. So.
And you, do you have any more dates for your current tour? Was last night the...
This was really just a one-off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to announce some more tour dates for later 2018. We're just confirming a bunch more dates that I can't say yet, but the things that are confirmed are a show. Oh, I am playing a show in New York. It just
Excellent.
got confirmed yesterday on
Great.
February
There we go.
23rd. I am opening for City of the Sun, which I'm
Okay.
a big fan of them. I don't know if you know those guys. At Brooklyn Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
February
cut to this
23rd,
when
Brooklyn.
you asked me. Yeah, February 23rd, Brooklyn.
Road trip.
Mwah.
Do you know
Road trip.
which neighborhood is that? I haven't been to that venue.
I think it's a new venue, and I honestly am not sure, so I'm not going to give you wrong information.
All right. you
But it's
got
in
it.
Brooklyn.
We'll look it up.
Yeah,
I was
Brooklyn
curious. I
Steel.
used to live in Crown Heights, so I was curious. But it's been a while. So
I used to
don't
live in
know
Crown
what's-
Heights too.
Yeah.
Yep, I used to live on the Kingston 2-3 stop.
I was on
Out.
Nostrand and Eastern Parkway.
Yeah, I was on.
We
King-
were
I was
riding
one
the
stop-
subway together.
We were. That's crazy.
Hey, do you remember this? Like really sticks with me when this was like 2003-ish that I was living there.
Okay.
But I don't know how long the graffiti remained there. But on the it was like the 2319, I think, that like ran through those tracks. There was this big text that always amazed me that like these artists hopefully didn't die, but that they like had the courage to go stand in the middle of this tunnel where there's like no exits and write two writers were approaching when the wind began to howl, which I think I looked up later. I feel like it's a Dylan lyric, and I might have to look it up again. I didn't know that for like many years. I just like thought it was super cool that every time I rode the subway home, there were these like giant
That's
letters.
dope. I don't know if I ever saw that. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna real quick look up and confirm it before I shout out to the wrong artist. But but yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm always fascinated at all the places that you've traveled, and so have you, Michael. You traveled through 35 different countries with the so
Whiffenpoofs of Yale University.
I want to hear all about it.
I went to Yale. I was in a group, a cappella group there called the Whiffenpoofs. It's like a storied a cappella group, been around
Such a
since
great name.
1909. It's from an opera. If I remember correctly, there's an operetta, and in that opera, I forget what it's called. Oh, it's the Nemo. Basically, the original Nemo story is this operetta from the late 1800s. It's like I forget what it's called. Maybe I don't think it's Finding Nemo, but I believe Finding Nemo is based on this operetta. In that original operetta, there's a magical dragonfish creature called the Whiffenpoof. And these Yaleys in 1909 that were probably gay as fuck. Like, let's be the Whiffenpoofs because of the acapella group. You know what I mean? Cut to now 100 years later. Yeah, it's the oldest acapella group in the country,
Wow.
and it's 14 unique senior men each year, and the whole group turns over. So basically, I took a year off from school between my third and fourth years of studies to tour full time with this group, and we went around the world to 35 countries, and it was crazy. And during that year, I was like, wow, making music around the world is the best thing. I want to do that with my music.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah.
You got some favorites?
Yes. Madagascar,
Yeah.
Nepal, South Korea.
Awesome. Man, those are three I haven't even pinned yet.
Yep.
That's,
Me neither.
I guess I
Working
gotta,
on it.
Crazy.
I gotta
The
hit more
world
up.
is
More
so
road
big.
trips. It
The world
is.
is so big, but also
Yeah,
so
we'll
small.
just drive.
Yeah.
Let's just drive to Madagascar.
Yeah.
Right. That would be interesting.
We'll strap it to
We'll
the
get a
bottom of a
chitty
plane.
chitty bang bang.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We'll get in the grease car,
Oh.
at the end credits.
Yeah, and now I gotta apologize to Jimi Hendrix because I just looked it up.
Oh.
That was a super sorry. That was a bad faux pas. Jimi Hendrix. Two riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl. Hendrix's "All Along the Watchtower," which I obviously didn't know the lyrics to.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
all right.
And then these like cool graffiti artists changed it to two writers were approaching, and the wind began to howl. Anyway,
That's dope.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hendrix.
That's okay. I think he forgives us.
But yeah.
He listens to the show, so
Absolutely.
it's all good.
Right.
As long as I got his name out there, he's like, all right, we're cool.
We cool.
So many places that, I mean, I know you and I both love to travel and see all the different points of the world. I traveled with a group called Up With People for a year.
Cool. A musical group?
Yeah, they've been around since the 60s.
Okay.
And so I did 2 semesters with them, essentially staying with host families, performing a Broadway-style musical, and performing some sort of community involvement
Where'd
project.
you guys go?
We, the first semester was the Midwest and Northeast United States, and then second was across Europe. So we did Germany, Austria, Belgium, Spain, Netherlands, Portugal, and stopped over in the Czech Republic.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty
Awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
What are your 3 favorites?
Yeah.
Did I mention Sweden? Because that's my favorite. I think I forgot Sweden, and I think that was my favorite because I've never been in a space where the people were nicer and more generous and just wanted to show me and share with me absolutely everything that they had going on and all of the different places. I skied for the first time, which was pretty great. I stayed on the bunny slopes, but that's okay.
You're just cruising down.
I was, man.
Using all the kids as moguls.
No,
Skiing is scary. I don't ski.
I think skiing's scary too.
I don't.
really?
I've also cruised down some bunny slopes and I did fine,
Same.
but I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna go in the lodge and get a drink.
Yeah, same. I had a few
Yeah.
traumatic experiences as a child skiing.
Oh, do tell. No?
I mean,
tell?
no, it's fine. I remember one time I had a lesson, me and my sister, neither of us can fucking ski, and the lady took us on this hard-ass thing. Both of us came down sobbing. We're in tears.
Oh,
We're
no.
devastated. Our parents are waiting for us. We're just so sad. And then another time I was going up the fucking lift holding on like this, when it pulls you
Yeah.
up, and my skis got like stuck in the snow, and like I basically fell off, but the thing was, so I was like being pulled up like this,
wow.
and then someone from behind me hit me, so I just had to kind of let go and like be off to the side, but you couldn't really be there because you had to be by a tree, so then they had to come and get me, and I had to like be escorted on one of the little ski mobiles. I
wow.
don't ski.
I feel like going downhill standing up is scary. Like you're too
Yeah.
high. Like I don't mind sledding, but like your center of gravity is like too high for the angle of the slope.
Yeah.
Now we know what we're both afraid of.
There you go. Remember that dot?
Yeah.
The ski. Right.
But get on stage and you
I
got
think it's
that,
time to
like,
go, guys. I
pinkish
think it's time to go to
fill
Sweden.
up all the space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I was pretty proud of myself, honestly.
I love Sweden. I'm just not going to ski there. Sweden's
Okay, all right.
I support your
That's
skiing
totally-
though.
Yeah.
You gotta
Thanks,
love
guys.
yourself first.
I also support your skiing.
It was a long time ago.
You don't need external validation.
I was
Right.
probably being
But
unnecessarily.
we
If you want
support
it,
your
we got you.
skiing.
Thanks, guys.
We will get you mitts. We will get you a helmet.
Wow.
Be
High
safe.
five over the mics there.
We're at the bottom. We're cheering. Yeah.
What is something that you really fear besides skiing that you would like to take on?
Ooh. I'm trying to be more open to traditional romantic love. I'm trying to be just like less fearful of that and less skeptical of that, and be okay. I don't want to worship that, but I want to be okay with that as a possibility.
I like that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my life I've been on defense a little bit, like mad because I didn't have a boyfriend, or mad because I was gay, so I couldn't have a boyfriend because I wasn't cool with myself enough. And at a certain point, just like I have to just be like, okay, you know what? You can still be okay being open to this.
Yeah. It's so easy to get.
I'm looking at Paja because we've had a lot of conversations about this, and I've never expressed that quite like that. And I think that's true.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I think it's super easy to be skeptical when you get hurt. But like if you get hurt skiing and you're like, I don't want to ski anymore, like it doesn't really affect your life that much because it's not like skiing doesn't necessarily need to come to you for you to like feel like you can share your empathy and your support and stuff with someone else. But if you get hurt romantically and then you're like, nah, I'm never ever going to be romantic again, then like you could really be missing out on something.
And for me, I would say it's not even that I got hurt skiing, it's that I didn't even realize skiing was a thing people did.
Yeah.
The mountain was not presented to me as an option at all. And so then I was like, fuck the mountain. But now I'm like, you know what? It could be dope to go up the mountain, just see what that's like. And if I fall and get hurt, I'll have an idea what most people deal with. I don't think I've ever really been like deeply, deeply hard. I mean, I've had, a little heartache, whatever, with a little breakup here and there. But I've never really had like a boyfriend like that. I've never called someone my boyfriend. I've never had a long-term romantic partner. So I'm trying to be more open to that. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
I had a long-term partner for a year, and then it was a terrible breakup, and then I didn't have any real deep connections with anyone for a very, very long time. So I think it depends on where you're coming from. There's thousands of elements that go into it, and you really just have to let yourself be open to change and open to the romance finding you rather than you finding the romance. And it's really hard to actually live that kind of, I don't know, it's about to border into cheesy territory here, but
We love cheesy.
to border in that sort of love awareness is really hard and sometimes excruciating, because you think about, like, I used to do that all the time, where I would go into these places that that I'm not lovable and I'm not.
You are lovable.
I'm not worth. So yeah.
But I completely
we all
understand that.
are.
I completely understand that fear and that anxiety of not being lovable, of somehow being just like different. Like for me, I think I for a long time internalized this idea that like, because I was so fearless on stage, because my gift was this gift of expression and and this always being able to give everyone everything, it was almost like maybe she made me in a way where it's like, yeah, but you're also not going to be someone that has that kind of love. I honestly thought that for a while. And now I'm like, no, like it's not even about that. It's just like, just be open to whatever and see what happens.
Yeah, something that's really helped me and been a real blessing in my life is being really open to the nature of the relationship, being built by the people in the relationship and not based on any outside, not your family, not your friends, not your culture, being like,
absolutely.
I have so many good friends in LA that I went on OkCupid dates with when I first got here. And we were like, oh, this was the funnest time ever, but like, I don't feel romantic, neither do I. Let's be best friends. Let's create some art. And now we're still best friends, and it worked out so well just because we were like honest about like what both of us were feeling, but like it's still a great relationship. It just didn't go that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Say it again. Yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, because sometimes you find the culture of your relationship in the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I love reading stories about like even like married couples who chose not to get legally married or choose to live in like houses across the street because they're like great couples, but they're not great roommates. Or, like just do what you two are doing, not like screw everybody else.
Or you three.
Or you three.
Right.
Yeah, for real.
Seven.
But like it's, exactly. But it's all about the people in the relationship, and like all those outside people can like either enjoy and have fun being part of what you guys are up to, or, not.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
That's right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah. Amen.
Michael, when people listen to your music, what do you want them to hear?
The lyrics. For one.
Yeah.
I want them to hear the lyrics. I want them to hear. I want them to feel the spirit. I want them to hear. That thing where you just out of your body. I want them to feel that, and that's something I've been working on a lot, especially in these most recent records. Like really giving that intangible emotional thing that it's easier in some ways to pull off live because your body's there and people can see you and there's a visual element and you can kind of like give them exactly what it is. But when it's just audio capturing that essence where it's more than just the song or the recording or the sounds being great, but it just has that intangible thing where it's just like you fucking feel the records. You know what I mean? So I want them to hear the spirit.
Okay.
I want them to hear the lyrics, and I want them, I don't have a cute third. Those would be the first two. The spirit and the lyrics,
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I really want our listeners to get the full spirit of your music. So right now I'm going to play Lifting You. We'll be right back.
Can't do it anymore, it's too much weight. hurts my vibe, hurts my pen, my whole game's thrown off. You disarm me, you know my weak spots. One person is an army. It's alarming how quickly I've become fatigued. A new league, and now my old teammate is like my police, controlling my thoughts, curtailing my dreams, and unplanting my seeds. So I gotta let go. I'm cutting the ropes, but you don't have to fall. You can pass a ball, you can take some notes, you can make a call. But you gotta trust your insides. You gotta fuck with your own shine.
You gotta love yourself first. You gotta love yourself first. You got to love yourself first. You got to love yourself first. Yeah, you got to love yourself first. 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 Cause I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but I need to say you can't get anywhere if you don't love the way you're made. You got to be the one that defines you, be the one that supplies you. Study those that inspire you. Your fire is uniquely you. How do you expect to grow? How do you expect to know more? You're not gonna get more dope being mad at someone else's flow. External validation is not a prerequisite for self-appreciation. External validation is not a prerequisite for self-appreciation. You gotta love yourself first. You gotta love yourself first. You got to love yourself first. You got to love yourself first. Yeah, you got to love yourself first. 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 Cause I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you.
There's just no time for comparing. Sharing is all we can do. I see the beauty inside you, but it's worthless till you see it too.
You got to love yourself first. 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 Yeah, you got to love yourself first. 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 Cause I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting you.
Going up,
I can't keep lifting
only
you.
have so much
I can't
strength.
keep lifting you. Can't keep lifting you. I can't keep lifting
Trying
you.
my best.
I can't keep lifting
Wanna
you.
see you right
I can't
next
keep
to
lifting
me.
you.
You gotta love. You got to love.
And welcome back.
What's up? We're back. We're back. Part two.
I love your energy, Michael.
Yeah,
you're
sure.
so buoyant.
Thank you. I'm. What can I say? I'm afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. But you got to look, because the mood coming out of that is going to be more mood. You got to look. Sorry, were we too hype coming out lifting you?
No,
It doesn't
please.
matter.
You can continue singing. I mean,
Right.
if you want to
yeah, we love
if you
it.
want to do
No,
it
no,
a
no, no,
cappella,
no.
you're
No.
know.
I'm just being silly. I'm being buoyant. Sorry.
Speaking of silly and
we love
buoyant,
it.
Tim.
I have this book. It's called Tiny Tim. It's by Helen
Tiny Tim.
Oxenberry.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this cover. If this gives you any idea of of the content.
This is interesting.
But it's definitely a little different from the children's books.
It is not buoyant. And neither are the children who
That's
drown
right.
in the bathtub.
Exactly. So if you would be so kind as to flip to any random page and just read a little excerpt.
You want
Or sing a little excerpt.
Yes, or sing it.
If
yes.
you're inspired to do so.
If you're so inclined.
Okay. I'm just, okay. I got one. I'm just choosing my one.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, all right. 5 little monkeys walked along the shore. One went a-sailing, and then there were 4. 4 little monkeys climbed up to a tree. One of them tumbled down, and then there were 3. 3 little monkeys found a pot of glue. One got stuck in it, then there were 2. So 2 little monkeys found a currant bun. One ran away with it, and then there was 1. 1 little monkey cried all afternoon, so they put him in an aeroplane and sent him to the moon.
Yes.
Crowd of applause. That was gorgeous.
It's
That
kinda
was
funny.
beautiful. I like those
It was
poems.
amazing. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like those lyrics.
It's pretty wild. There's a lot of
And now there's a monkey hanging out on the moon.
on the moon.
Doop-de-doop.
With all
Waiting
the
for some
cheese.
friends. Yeah, exactly.
right.
That's a kind of dark though.
Yeah.
Can I do one other? I want to just do
Sure.
one
Oh,
other.
totally.
All you like.
What
Absolutely.
I want to do is the same. I want to do the same one,
Okay.
and I want to do a different delivery.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I want to like kind of just
Feel free.
catch a different vibe on it because I have a whole different idea for it.
This is awesome. I love process. I
Yeah.
love watching
Yeah.
artists process.
You know, because this could also be 5 little monkeys walked along the shore. One went a-sailing, and then there were 4. 4 little monkeys climbed up to a tree. One of them tumbled down, and then there was 3. 3 little monkeys found a pot of glue. One got stuck in it, and then there were 2. These 2 little monkeys found a currant bun. One ran away with it, and then there was 1. And one little monkey, he cried all the damn afternoon. So they put him on an airplane and sent him to the moon.
yes.
You know? Because it also could be that. I don't know.
It could be both simultaneously.
Right. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, can we try a game that I'm
Yes. Bring it on.
just now putting together?
Yes.
So Devlin and I co-host Sneaky Fridays game on
Okay.
Fridays, which is a prompt, a hashtag prompt,
Okay.
and everybody jumps on the tag. So I know you guys have your phones plugged in, so you have some juice. So last Friday we played Predictive Text Complement. So I'm thinking, because you just made me think of this at the beginning of the interview, that we should do Predictive Text my courage, or the shape of my courage is, and then see what our predictive text comes up with, because I think that our phones are stalking us.
What is predictive text? You mean on Google?
Oh, like on your phone, like when you text and there's it brings up. So I'll do.
But it brings up a whole phrase, my courage.
Well,
the
so
shape of my
let me
courage
show
is,
you.
And then
So
it does a
the
whole
shape-
thing.
The shape of my courage is, and then there's like middle, it gives you like word options. You see those 3. Does that seem familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So mine says, the shape of the courage is in my front seat, and a seat in front door is open. The shape of my courage is in my front seat, and a seat in front door is open.
Wow.
Pretty,
Oh,
pretty deep.
that's
Predictive
expansive.
text.
I love it.
What would yours be? Do you guys
Let me
have
grab my
your...
phone. It's,
Yeah. Sorry, I thought they were handy, but I was just curious because
No,
like
now I'm curious about
the
mine.
words you use the most are the ones that come up, the most in predictive text. So my predictive text always thinks I'm going somewhere, which I am. So
Interesting. Okay, let's see. So I would do a text.
yeah, and then you do like the shape of my courage is.
Oh, wait, I don't have to turn it on.
You don't
I'm
have
not
to.
very
You don't have to
tech-savvy.
text it to anybody.
Right. I'm sorry. I really want to know. I'm so bad at iPhones.
Oh no, that's okay. I don't think your predictive text is on. So
Sometimes she turns on though.
So maybe that. Oh really?
I think maybe I have to be texting someone.
Oh maybe. Text you and I.
Here, let's see. I'm gonna text Project.
Yeah. And then later, like at 3 a.m, he'll see the weird
shape
text.
of my but then
Did
let me
that
see.
work?
Let me see here. Okay, that's a no. I got it.
Yeah. All right.
The shape of my courage is and then I get to choose.
Just keep, yeah. Or
Ooh, I have an it says not. I'm going to do
All
not.
right.
Shape My Courage is not an easy way to get my money.
No money, no problems.
Wow. Interesting.
Very
Funny.
interesting.
Yeah. Very funny. Could you plug them?
That
Nope.
definitely went a different way than I
you
thought.
gotta, the shape of your courage gets you out on stage, but you gotta book those gigs
That's
to make
right.
that money.
Right, exactly. Say it again, Libby, okay?
Yep.
And Bloom Music, what's up? Book me, bitch.
Yep, get this guy out on your stage to fill you up and lift you up and inspire you and all of those things. Do you have your
Okay.
I should have done a better job like scanning the room to see if
I
you can
Don't-
you can send it to me and then it'll be like, wait, what does this mean later?
okay. I honestly have no. I never use any predictive anything on my phone because then it always gets too far ahead of me and I'm like, oh no.
No, it doesn't look like it's gonna.
It's
I
not
mean,
gonna
it doesn't
do it?
look like your predictive text.
No,
is
you
on.
can turn it on.
Okay, wait.
You have to go to you go to the emojis thing.
None of us know anything about technology.
About my own phone.
I was wrong. Wait.
I know there is a way to turn it on. I would probably honestly have turned mine off if I had bothered to figure out how.
No.
Because my phone doesn't
Oh, wait,
get
wait.
any of my automatopoeias.
Okay.
I say so many weird things to people.
No, I don't even know, guys. Nope, I don't know.
That's okay.
All right. Well, Shape of Your Courage is
The
TBD.
TBD. Yeah.
Right. Love it.
TBD upon you the update of your iOS.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I should have. I was actually.
post it on the
I was.
page.
I
haven't
was
updated
example
either.
texting to my dad. I should have just sent that. I should send that to my dad. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. And
see what
he
your dad writes back. I
Yeah,
love that.
because he loves to send me dad jokes like every day.
Yeah.
I have an irrational fear of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it.
That is a quality. That is a quality dad joke.
I just got
Love
it.
you, Dad.
I just
Your
got
dad
it.
is really taking his duties seriously.
Oh, very much so.
Does he have like a list
he
of
does.
things that he's supposed to do during the day?
It just
Send
comes-
son dad joke.
I think he does do that.
What else are dads?
Well,
likes to
he-
play catch with someone. I guess.
He is. He gets mad at me because I call him ornery and cantankerous on this show. But
Oh yeah.
But my dad is great, and he texts me "I love you" every day, which is very sweet. And
Yeah.
and
That's
a random
nice.
dad joke. Yeah,
That is
Right.
sweet.
yeah. Did your parents support you in your career as you were
Are they musical?
creating music?
My parents have supported me. I think there was a period of adjustment where I think my parents just their lives hadn't really intersected that many times with artists.
Okay.
So I think then their son being an artist and his whole life being this very different kind of, world and lifestyle and structure and schedule has been just like it's been new to my family in a way, but they've been very supportive and invested for sure.
What kind of world do your parents come from? Like what kind of?
My dad is a lawyer.
Yeah.
My mom works in museum administration. My dad grew up in Connecticut. My mom grew up in Long Island. And my family's Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my ancestors came here around the turn of the century from Eastern Europe.
Okay.
And, came from Eastern Europe with, as just poor Jewish immigrants that kind of were getting kicked out of all those countries that later became, post-Soviet Union countries.
Yep.
And came here very poor and worked hard and kind of, then the Jews became white people and kind of worked their way up. You know what I mean? And we've definitely, And then I think and just my family is very much it is like the immigrant story in a sense of over 100 years of if I think about it, Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much a story of working hard and raising the bar.
Yeah, but then me being a millennial and having the opportunity and the privilege to sort of throw myself into being an artist, you know what I mean, is sort of almost a another level of that in a sense.
It absolutely
You know
is.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does, you know, just even the fact that I was able to say, hey, I want to be an artist, I think speaks to, and obviously artists come from all different places, but for me, I think a lot of it does come from privileges that I had, economic privileges, just all the privileges I have as a white man who came from a family that was we didn't like grow up like super rich, but I always had everything I needed. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of I just think about that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's awesome because it sounds like you're also grateful for that, and I think gratitude is really important.
Yes.
But I also think opportunity is kind of cumulative. Like
Totally.
foundations get built, and whether it's your biological family or like your found family, like we all got to just keep lifting each other up and building those blocks till we all reach the stars. You know.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Very well put, Libby.
Thanks.
Yeah.
My
Stars.
mirror's gonna be so full of like etched thoughts. I'm not even gonna be able to see myself in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I'm so content in this environment. Sometimes I get to those places where I'm just like, it's not that I don't have anything to say.
We're just
It's
breathing.
just that I have everything to say, and I don't know which thing to pick. So it's just it's such a pleasure to have an artist and a speaker and an advocate like you here in the studio. I talk about this a lot on the show, that it's a lot of the times it skews towards sort of zany and on this show. But then I really like to have the powerful guests that are also such powerful speakers. And I was also reading that you are very much an advocate of social justice, which it's one of my favorite subjects because I'm very much of that as well.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, I just feel like you're in or you're out. Like, are we talking about all the fucked up shit happening all the time or not? And it's not like you stay home and cry because all this shit is happening. It's like, no, you feed the fire of awareness. You are constantly aware that all these injustices are happening, and you're constantly trying to do all you can while also not like, you can't collapse, especially, just regarding my personal identity, especially as, cis white man that benefits a lot from a lot of the injustices across our country. Like, I just need to like be aware of that and be aware of what it means for me to walk through a space and get XYZ or not get XYZ, or for someone else that I work with who doesn't look like me to walk through a space. And yeah, I just think it's like you're either looking around and being like, yeah, of course it's fucked up that I don't know the numbers, but like, X% of the people in jail, in prison in this country are black men who were convicted of nonviolent, whatever.
Sure.
I don't know the numbers, but it's like, okay, well, that's a thing, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't. It's like you either know and are thinking about that and are engaged with that, and again, it doesn't. Oh my God! But the world's so injustice. What do we do? It's like, okay, yeah, the world's fucked up. Let's move at the speed of solution. Let's feed the fire of awareness. So we're always thinking about that and also like working. And I just feel like you mentioned being an advocate of social justice. To me, I don't know. To me, there's a baseline that if you're not doing the baseline of like thinking about things and talking about things and like just feeding your community's awareness, it's like, then what are you even doing?
100%.
Because I could be doing more activist work. Like, I'm not out here doing what, like, as an artist, I make things that speak to things, but I'm not out here in the streets leading protests. But I work in a different way. I work with those activists to do what I do. You know what I mean? But then there's some folks that are just kind of completely just turned off, just comfortable, just always just not thinking about it. And then when they do think about it, they get sad because they don't want to think about the bad things in the way it is. And it's like, especially white people, a lot of white people, they get so sad when they think about injustice. And it's like, this is not about you being sad.
Right. Yep.
This is about just realize that this is how this is happening. Realize how you're benefiting from your whiteness. It's okay. You're not personally responsible for all of this.
Yeah.
But you are implicitly complicit by being a white person, probably. And it's okay. But like, let's now work towards a greater thing by talking about it, acknowledging it, that it's always there. Every moment you can't escape it. It's always a thing. It's always that we swim in a discourse of fucked up American history.
Yeah, for sure. I feel for a lot of us that like as a country we like really walked through the fire in 2017, and even though we're not like really through it, that we've sort of like emerged to a place where the keywords for me are awareness is like huge. Awareness and amplification, like amplifying the injustice of Black Americans being jailed at a higher
and killed
and put down in a wide variety of fucked up ways. And amplification, I've been using the tag amplifeminism, amplification of women's voices, not as victims but as artists and scientists and people, and just being like, remember all these people who are doing stuff, who are also people, and action. Those are my three big, like, certainly political, but my three big keywords for
awareness, amplification, and action. Yeah, that's nice.
I like alliteration. I adore alliteration.
Me too.
So,
we're still walking across the bed of hot coals.
Yeah.
But now we have insulated socks.
Yeah, insulated socks for every American. Right. I love that.
Interesting. Right. Yeah, you've evolved.
Yeah. I love, and I wanted to point out that when you talk about the higher power, that you were using she.
Yeah, definitely. Just, I mean, my higher power honestly doesn't have a gender at all.
No, like genderless.
She's way above our silly ideas of, gender. But in terms of quickly referring to her in our language system, I give her a she. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it.
I like to think of Alanis Morissette.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Dogma.
Doing cartwhils in the grass.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
But it's nice to sort of even out the pronouns, get a little 50-50 going at least.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't matter, because then it just becomes genderless.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
I did take some questions, or at least attempted to, on social media while I was posting about the concert last night. So this comes in from Emily. Hi,
Emily.
She would love to hear about how you prep for putting together your live show and what your writing and recording process was like.
Well, those are two big questions.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do the first one first, and then if we want, we can go to the other one if you guys want. How do we prep for the show? The show is a whole project. I love the show. The show is my favorite part. I love being on stage. I love working with humans to put together a show. I love working with musicians. I love thinking about the show as distinct from the records. You know what I mean? Because it is different. It's not press play. It's show up to a space, stand here, and have an experience happen in front of your eyes. And so it's music, it's visuals, it's choreography. As my project and my platform grows, I have really, really big, expensive ideas about how I want the show to be, and I can't wait for it to just continue to grow. That's one of the things I'm most excited about. But yeah, we rehearse a lot. A lot of times we'll some songs start on a record, and then it's like, how do we adapt it to the band? Other times there have been band creation kind of vibes, and then we adapt to a record. We have a lot of sectionals, so I have vocal sectionals with the singers, and we'll work on harmonies and vocal arrangements just on their own. And then I'll sometimes have rhythm section, which is, keys, bass, drums, guitar, and we'll get that part going. And then horn sectionals, and then we'll kind of bring it all together.
Yeah.
At this point, we've done a fair amount of shows in the last few months, so we have our show that we've kind of been doing and touring with is pretty set. And then for a given show like last night, we had a rehearsal and a half to kind of just spruce it up and get it ready, and we were going to cut that song and switch that order and whatever. But pretty much now the material is in us. And it's been cool because we added a whole bunch of new material in the fall of some of the records that are not yet out that are going to come out this year. And so, yeah, I love the show. It's my favorite thing. I love being on stage. I love working with humans to make a thing that is bigger than any one of us. You know what I mean?
That's my favorite thing, too.
Yeah.
It's about the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is your band pretty consistent? Do you have the same, so you travel with the same?
Pretty much. There have been a few changes here and there. Someone can't make it. We could, but for the most part, yeah, it's a lot of people that I've been playing with in New York for almost, in some cases, 4 or 5 years. That were playing with me, like when we literally started playing at small clubs downtown for 5 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think
cool.
that leaps back to like the building the relationship among the people in it.
Absolutely.
Because like the more consistency you have, the more that you like
your vibes
subconsciously know each other and like build a thing that's like all of you instead of a bunch of individuals. That's
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Your entire band was absolutely phenomenal, and
yeah, they're the
I
best.
Really enjoyed the little piece where you highlighted the 2 women who are
the background singers,
the main background singers.
Cola Ray and Taj Sat.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to give them a shout out because
they sing their
they were
fucking faces
glorious.
off. Yeah, they're amazing singers. They're crazy, so good. I'm consistently honored to that they want to be part of my project. and they, you know, both of them and everyone in the band at this point, everyone's like the homie. Like everyone's at my house chilling, like we're hanging on tour, like, you know, and that's nice. And, you know, I know there are a lot of artists who hire musicians to do a thing, and, you know, that's fine. But for me, one of the things I love, like I said, is being able to be on stage and look around, and it's literally people who are my friends, who are like literally my friends who are here, and we're getting paid, and this is awesome. Well, they're getting paid.
Everybody wins. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Emily is also very curious to know where you came up with that jacket. It's pretty fly.
From last night?
Yeah.
I got it at a thrift store in Brooklyn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, don't we need to describe it since this isn't an audio show?
I wasn't really looking for fashion, so I don't know what jacket she's in. It's like whatever jacket appeared in the Instagram that I did.
It was a white, little kind of cute white crop fitted jacket with kind of like embroidery, blue and gold embroidery on the wrists and collar.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cute. I like fashion a lot too. That's part of the show too. I think fashion is a big part of our culture, a big part of our music culture, and I can say so many different things about what my perspective based on what I wear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am this, you know, cis white man, but like depending on how I dress in the space I'm in, I'm an infinite number of people to the way I'm going to be perceived. You know what I mean?
There's so many layers to a live show.
Yeah. So there's so many, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
You're
mean,
wearing a. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, however you choose to choreograph the show,
Right.
and how you light it, and how your soundboard is like working, and how the room is shaped, and where people are. Like, there's so many factors.
There's a lot of magic and synergy that happens during a live show like that. You're wearing a really cool necklace
Thank you.
right now.
Yeah.
Is there any special significance?
No, I just had a few random things that I threw on this chain. Yeah.
Neat.
Just a few, little trinkets.
I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Please.
You have so many notes that I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
I mean, yeah.
He's such a good note taker, but I don't want to step on your process.
Never.
Who do you want to collaborate with? Who?
Yes.
And not limited to music, like fashion designers, visual artists. Like, who do you really want to collaborate with? Architects, whatever you want.
Damn, I don't know. I don't have an answer quite just ready for that like that. There's so many people I want to collaborate with, I guess. I know.
Shout them out. Put it in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. 2018, baby.
Maybe they'll call.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a really, 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 really big Beyonce fan.
Yeah.
And I definitely
Aren't we all?
I have a big I definitely have a bucket list dream to like do some shit with Beyonce. Even if it's in like 10 years, like, you know, when we're both in very different places.
Yeah.
I just think she is like the artist of my generation. Like, she is just like the genius artist of the generation, and like just to like get to learn from what she's doing in any capacity. I've already learned so much, but just to be in a room with her and just watch her work, like, to me would be just the most valuable thing as an artist that I could want to study. You know what I mean? So that's like obviously that's a lofty one. But yeah, there's a lot of people in New York that, you know, I want to keep, honestly, I want to collaborate with the people that I know in New York. Like, I have such a network of people who aren't necessarily out here like that, but like there's so many people in New York that aren't well known, so to speak, but there's such a crazy dope art scene of, like, you know, Brooklyn photographers and graphic designers and like musicians. I just feel like, I don't know, I want to also continue to grow my community of people, like, through other people that I know. I guess that's a shitty answer. Like, I want to work with people I already fucking know. That's not what I'm trying to say.
That's not a shit.
No,
Yeah. But that's also not what I'm saying. I don't know.
Because also, though, like, the people that you know and are awesome know a bunch of awesome people.
Right.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying.
So you want to, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being super visual today, but, like, which is dumb for a podcast, and I'm sorry.
We'll put it on Instagram
But it's
later.
like, you know, when you build like a DNA strand or something, right? And then you just like keep connecting points to other points, or like the brain synapses, you just keep like branching those points out, and eventually they all connect back to each other.
Right.
Musical string theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Musical things. Yeah.
What about you,
life
Libby?
string theory. Yeah. Who do you want to collaborate?
Steve Martin.
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh. I put out so many recently, and now they're not just like leaping to mind, which is silly because as I asked the question, was like,
Steve Martin takes the cake.
Yeah,
he does
Steve
it all.
Martin's really, really high on my list. He does so many things. I mean, Jim Henson leaps immediately to mind, but of course he has died. I had an opportunity to meet Kermit the Frog, so Kermit the Frog, who will be alive forever. I mean, I just love the Henson brand, and again, like. I'm such a hippie in this way, but like I'm like all about like sharing the love, and like I mean all of us, right? Like, which is amazing, but like doing things that surprise and delight people, but as a team. Oof. And I feel like the Henson brand is like he built it about that. Mm-hmm. So I love that, and I feel like I've shouted out about so many women lately. There's so many women who I know personally that I've been trying to like shout their voices out and amplify them. I mean, my whole Second City family, like I've been shouting out about Alicia Knotts and Caitlin Tanemoto and Brooke Tranter and Amanda Barnes, and I'm just going to keep putting their names out because sometimes we get to collaborate, but sometimes, you know, we just see each other on Facebook for like a year, and it's like, oh man, you guys are so talented. Let's hook something up. Rookie Desai and Carrie Weisberg. Anyways, like I love my Second City family because that's very much like also like a team where everybody's like building those blocks so that we all build up together.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know my answer.
What's your answer?
Weird Al.
Weird Al.
I want to sing on stage with Weird Al. I announced the episode it will have been 2 episodes previous to this that I'm doing a Weird Al tribute podcast, which is called Accordion to Al, and that will be premiering sometime this spring. And he's an absolute genius in every facet of the manner of the word. Yeah. And I mean, he's more popular and going stronger now than ever before. He's been performing and doing music and comedy for 40 plus years now. So it's pretty
he really is
impressive.
A massive cultural figure. Yeah.
Indeed.
You know, this is a weird parallel to draw, but like Weird Al has like very much the flexible and lasting career of like Miles Davis or Madonna, where he like keeps adapting, like it's still his thing, but he's sort of like moving like water, like moving through the
he fills in
paths.
whatever space he's put in.
Like your beautiful pink and purple courage gas fills up whatever space is available, all the nooks and crannies. I have one more odd question for you.
Okay. Hopefully I have a better answer.
Yeah, all your answers have been spectacular. I love it all. So we talked about like your influences, like we talked about Aretha Franklin leaps to mind, and Beyonce, of course. Do you ever take what your influences have done, and this is like a big thing in jazz, and made it your own, like done like a master study, but then like turned it to make it for you?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So, for instance, like if you look at a lot of painters, like I went to a Lichtenstein retrospective that was really solid, and there was a whole room. Lichtenstein does like the little comic book kind of like
I can picture his
dots,
stuff.
right? Very pop comic booky. So there was a whole room where he'd done master studies where he did like Picasso, like a really famous Picasso piece, but in his style, but it was the same imagery, or like Monet, like he did like a, it wasn't the water lilies, but it was, you know, a very famous Monet piece, but he Lichtensteined it. So like, do you have musical artists that like, you've sung Aretha Franklin tunes over and over and over again. Have you Michael Blumed them?
Well, I think, I mean, I think the equivalent in music kind of would be like doing covers. Art maybe. Or one, so, right?
I mean, for like doing a cover for sure, but like I mean, another good example that leaps to mind is like Baz Luhrmann. Like he has a very distinct style, but he takes.
Are you going for pastiche? Are you going for like, because Weird Al does that a lot. Obviously, he's known for his parodies, but he does a lot of original music that is a pastiche of a particular artist. That's not a direct parody. He doesn't change the lyrics of the artist's songs. He has a Pixies pastiche that he does. Anyway, is that
What's a
maybe
pastiche? I've never heard that word.
So like that song is Pixies-esque. It's not.
I see.
It's not like usually, you know,
Just like make a new thing, but like in the vibe of that person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
kinda
an
like that.
original piece of art that is an homage to someone
Got you.
else's piece of art.
I think, yes. I think generally when I'm working on a record, I like to have reference records. So there's usually like, honestly, there's usually like 2 or 3 records in particular that we're like going back and forth between being like, and pulling things from it. Oh, like I love how they did like this one synth in that. Like let's throw that in, or the bass here is kind of that. But I don't know if I've done a thing where it's like been as on the nose as what you're asking about.
Yeah.
I definitely have done covers live with the band. I do a cover of Gnarls Barkley, "Crazy." I remember when I lost my mind, and then I also do a cover of "Bridge Over Troubled Water," which is Simon Garfunkel, but Aretha Franklin did a version on it, and my version is largely based on the Aretha version, but kind of with like some reharmed stuff and kind of like a more hip-hoppy kind of feel.
You want to share a smidge?
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I'm gonna lay me down.
Gorgeous.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Sorry about that roundabout explanation. I mean,
no.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
necessary.
Yeah. That's great. Great question. So, Michael, you have your new EP, and again, I won't mention the title of it. That's coming out in April. So that's very exciting. Where can people find you?
People can find me on all social platforms. Michael Blume, BLUME, like you and me. On Instagram, I'm at mbloommusic. And I'm mbloommusic on Twitter as well. Spotify is my full name, Michael Blume. And yeah, I'm everywhere. We are on all the platforms.
Oh, yeah. So if I want to add you to my Spotify station or my Pandora station, you're there.
Oh, I'm there.
I'm throwing you on my Killer Crooner station.
Throw me on that Killer
Yeah.
Crooners. Throw me on.
And Libby?
I am all over the place at Sneaky Varmint.
I love it so much.
And play Sneaky Fridays with us every Friday, 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern.
Indeed. And of course, as always, you can find me at all the places at Devlin Wilder. It's just my name. And this show at all the places, Friend or Foe Pod. That's FAUX. And we are now literally on every possible place you can listen to podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, Spotify, and now officially iHeartRadio. So please check us out
Yay.
there. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much for
you.
having me.
It's really
This was
quite a
a
pleasure.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. That'll do it for this show. See you on the next one.
Guys, this has been Friend or Foe. No one knows.
Visit jabberjawmedia.com for more shows like this one.